the Carrington Armory. Give Shannon Maring a call, 701-652-2484. Walk-ins are welcome. They're located at 40 10th Avenue North. That's their physical address. They specialize in men's, women's, children's cuts, colors, perms, and shampoo sets. Hours Monday through Friday night at 6. And guess what? They're open till 8 tonight. Every Wednesday, open till 8. So that's 10th Avenue Salon in Carrington, across from the Carrington Armory. Joining us this morning for another edition of Here's What's Happening, we have Dion Schaaf, District Manager for the Foster County Soil Conservation District. Dion, how are you on this cold and rainy
morning? As you've noticed, I'm coughing a little. Got the fall cold, but otherwise doing well.
Doing well, yeah. It's I guess you got to deal with sometimes the flu and cough and all that fun stuff. So.
Well, this is the way things go. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, that's for sure. All right. Well, thanks, Dion, for joining us this morning.
Okay.
We got a lot to talk about this morning. We want to start with we want to talk about an achievement award, right?
Yes. Every 2 years, the district gives a conservation achievement award to someone in the county that has been doing good work toward conservation. And this year, the board decided to give that award to Wes Miller. He, as you know, he has a tree service. He's planted around 15 miles of shelter belts, tree belts around his farm, which he's planted them thicker than what you would want them at the end because he uses some of those trees for his tree service. And just because he's promoting tree planting and he's done such a good job with those trees, the district decided that he should have the Conservation Achievement Award for this year. And so he'll be getting a jacket from the district and an aerial photo of his place. And he will be joining us in a couple weeks here at the state meeting. Hopefully he'll enjoy some of the informational meetings that go on there. And then there's a banquet where all of the conservation achievement winners in the state are acknowledged. So he'll have his face up on the wall there. So hopefully he enjoys himself there.
Yeah, well, that's pretty exciting. 15 miles of trees. Wow.
That's his approximation. Yeah, there's a lot of trees on that place.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So yeah.
All right, sounds good. Now we got to talk about casseron, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We are getting to that point where I'm probably going to plan to do casseron application pretty soon here. That, as you may know, the herbicide that we put on in the fall, and then it controls weeds in the spring within those tree rows. So if anybody's interested in casseron application, they need to give me a call as soon as possible.
Okay.
The other thing that I want to remind folks about is a deadline for applications. For both the EQIP applications and the tree planting programs that I've talked about, all of those are due next Friday the 14th. For EQIP, it's just a matter of coming in and talking to the NRCS folks and signing an application. But for the tree planting programs, I do need to have time to get a plan put together so that that can be sent in with their application and make sure that it meets specifications. So you don't have to contact me if you want to do those applications. You need to get a hold of me as soon as possible.
Okay, sounds good. Now a deadline for application. That's what you were talking about, right?
That was, yes.
Okay, sounds good. Here's kind of an interesting topic. Why fall tillage is bad for spring planting. Talk about that.
Okay, what this is, if you receive our newsletter, this is the headline story that Paul DeBort wrote for us. Mm-hmm. Basically what he's saying is if you've got a spot where it got prevent plant or standing walking, something like that you had difficulty planting this spring, a lot of people will go in there in the fall and work it up on the assumption that if you work it, it'll dry faster. And the problem is actually counterproductive. The issue is how much water you're receiving versus how much your soil can hold before it starts, running off and pooling up. And the things that affect how much your water can hold are things like soil structure, organic matter, what kind of infiltration you've got. And tilling actually works against those things. It breaks up the soil structure, it destroys organic matter, and it can actually put in what they call a compaction layer so that they pass that layer. And so you start pulling up sooner and sooner the more you work that. So the tillage is actually working against you. What they recommend instead to try and get that moisture under control is to plant a fall cover crop. first of all, it assists with the soil quality. It adds organic matter. It improves the soil structure. It improves infiltration going down those roots, especially if you're planting something that's got deep roots in there. But also, you've got something in there growing and using. And for that, they again recommend you include something in the mixture that's going to be really thirsty, like turnips or radishes, something that's going to use a lot of that water. Okay. And the other advantage, not only are you using that water through the growing plants rather than having it evaporating off the soil, or it's that evaporation that brings salts up and starts that saline creep going into your soil. So this can help bring that under control as well. Okay. So they strongly recommend, rather than doing that fall tillage, look at cover crops. Come in, talk to NRCS. They can help you figure out what's going to work for you. It's really, like I said, that fall tillage is really counterproductive if you look at it in the long term.
Okay, sounds good. That's why you see a lot of no-till like right now, planting crops and everything. So.
Yeah, and the cover crops, they're turning out. A lot of people think they're a really wonderful tool. They really do help to bring these things on a little more mimicking the natural way that the soil is used to working.
Okay. All right, sounds good. A 70th anniversary. So what is that all about?
Okay. The Foster County Soil Conservation District was chartered by the state of North Dakota in July of 1944. The first recorded minutes we have for the district are for November of that year, so the district is 70 years old this year.
Wow. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've gone back looking through. I mean, they start out talking about I guess originally they did a lot of with drainage, which we can't do anymore. Yeah. But they started out early with providing trees. I think they bought their first planter in 1948. They didn't buy a tractor until 1958. Okay. But we only replaced that tractor a couple of years ago, and I think we're still using the original planter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we've been here a long time. This district has a long history of emphasis on education. This newsletter started in 1952, trying to get information out to folks. We've had Project Trees going for, I think it's 26 years now, getting education to the kids in school. So we think this is a big landmark. We really do.
70 years, that's pretty awesome. So.
We think so. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you.
Dion, we still have some time here. We wanted to cover Eddy County offices, right?
Right.
Are located in Carrington for now, right? Temporary.
The USDA building up in New Rock has a mold problem, and I don't know how long it's going to take them to deal with that, but while they're dealing with the building, I guess the Soil Conservation District folks up there are working either from home or from the tree shed. Okay. And the FSA and NRCS folks are down here in the Carrington office.
Okay.
So it's a lot of people around all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's right. And how do we get a hold of you? Because if you got any questions or anything like that.
Okay. Again, those deadlines are next Friday. The phone number is 652-2551, and you want to go to Extension 3 to get the NRCS and SCD offices.
Okay.
So,
all right. Anything else this morning, Dion?
I think that's the main stuff I wanted to talk about. But, again, please give me a call as soon as possible if you're interested in either casseron or tree planting.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. Appreciate when you stop in. And it's already the first Wednesday of the month, November, and before we know it, it will be December. And
oh my, Christmas soon. Okay, time to go home and ask everybody for their Christmas lists, right?
Yeah, that's right. I know, it just goes way too fast. Seems like the older you get, it just keeps going faster and faster. It doesn't slow down, does it?
Yeah, and when you were a kid, it took forever to get to Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you couldn't wait. You're just like, come on, Christmas be here. You're waiting for like in February already.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Dion. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you. You bet. We'll talk to you again next month. First Wednesday of the month of December would be December 3rd, so that's when we'll visit with Dion again. That's Dion Schaaf, District Manager for the Foster County Soil Conservation District, joining us this morning on Here's What's Happening. And our Here's What's Happening segment brought to you this morning by 10th Avenue Salon in Carrington, right across from the Carrington Armory. You can give Shannon Maring a call at 652-24